Like you said, everyone's talking about it this morning, so good.
We are. She made a statement.
Yeah, again, everybody's still talking about the NFL just literally imploding, and over the weekend, more news coming out. Adrian Peterson now being charged with child abuse. There were photos that and I just saw the photos this morning.
Well, and I told you, when I was raised, my mom's from the South. She's from Memphis, okay? She switches, brushes, shoes, spoons, anything that was close by was used in the perpetration.
Just to interrupt, and so his four-year-old son, he beat with a
switch.
Stick. Yes,
and when I saw this pic, this changed everything for me. At first, I was like, oh, it's just a spanking. Then I saw these pictures, and I said, what could a 4-year-old have possibly done that would have said to a father that hitting him this many times with this switch was a good idea, to the point where Adrian Peterson afterwards was texting the baby's mom, because, you know, they're not together, saying, I may have gone too far. And so it started this national discussion about what's appropriate spanking and what isn't. To me, when they leave marks like that, it crosses the line.
He'll lose custody of his child. That's pretty much a given. I think he should lose his spot in the NFL. And I've said this before.
And he was suspended.
I am like zero tolerance now, zero tolerance. Let's make our athletes the people who deserve to be up on the pedestals, for the kids to wear their jerseys and want to play football because their favorite guy plays football. I don't want to have to explain to my child like what this is all about. And Hannah Storm, who is a sports commentator on ESPN, did such a beautiful, eloquent job of explaining where she stands on all of this. She has 2 daughters, and she, on air, talked about having to explain to her 2 daughters who are big football fans. They both are in the fantasy football league this year, and she said instead of sitting down and talking about how their fantasy team is doing, we had to sit down and talk about you know,
domestic abuse.
Why isn't the NFL, you know, doing more about this? And I mean, you know, I have 4 sons who all play sports and football specifically. So I look at this and I go, you know, my kids like forever have looked up to athletes, and then to hear them
doing such asinine things. And you know, I had so many people say to me over the weekend, why don't they let the judicial system play out? You know, we're convicting these players if we're going to have a no-tolerance type policy before the judicial system has played out. My point is, the judicial system is about going to jail and staying out of jail. It has nothing to do with whether or not you keep your job. And if I'm on the news tonight for beating up Ryan, I'm losing my job at the broadcast tomorrow. You know what I mean?
We saw that with a popular news anchor in town, lost a job because of it.
So why do athletes get special treatment? And it's funny, and we joke about it, but we always say that Bryn's not allowed to date athletes. At least not the starting quarterbacks. We always joke in our house.
I think that my initial reaction when I heard the news, I felt bad for him, because we believe in spanking our children. That's how we did it. I was spanked as a child when I was growing up. Now, after I saw the pictures, absolutely, I believe he went too far.
Yeah.
But that's how I was raised. I think that's how a lot of people in the South are raised. You just get a spanking. But if you do something wrong, you get a spanking. I got the belt.
Like the things in the South that were so acceptable that aren't acceptable anymore. I mean, just it's not acceptable anymore. You don't beat your kid with a branch off a tree.
No, and I think he did go too far. But I did feel bad for the fact that something that he probably believes in as normal punishment at home went way too far, and he probably was done the same way.
Oh, absolutely. I think he said that's what he knew. It's how he was raised.
A 4-year-old, that is absolutely any child. That was far too much. But you know, I mean, I was raised on the belt. That's how I got punished.
I know. I'll tell you. Was it you that brought up that Condoleezza Rice had always said that the NFL commissioner was her dream job?
The NFL.
Condoleezza Rice for NFL commissioner.
I'm
Let's start a petition.
Let's start that petition. Right.
Okay. When we come back.